Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra Kaye, and I hope that you are having a great day. You are on the African Diaspora News Channel, and you'll be here with me for about 30 to 45 minutes. I should say that I do have a show of my own here on YouTube. Usually, you can join me from Sunday through Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time, where I have a conversation just like I do on here. And while we are waiting for everybody to get here, well, I guess I should tell you why we are here. We're going to be talking about a woman, I guess, calling out Black celebrities for staying silent during the struggle. Now, if you ask us, we're always in a struggle, but I think she kind of means, what's going on now with the politics and things like that. But I'm going to actually expound upon what she's saying because I agree with everything she's saying. Of course, I'll show you the video, but I'm going to take it a little bit further. But as we're waiting for everybody, as y'all can see there at the bottom, it says, please join the African Diaspora News Channel app that we have for you. What you need to do is go on your local Play Store on your phone and download it and invest in that because we have built that. It is Black owned, for us, by us. Of course, we know these platforms do not belong to us. And at any given moment, they can, turn the lights out. We don't think that they will, but in case they do, where will you find us, right? And we cannot keep complaining about what they do and say to us if we do not invest in us, right? It's kind of a moot point at that point. But anyway, what else do we have here? Let's see who's here before we get started. Doug, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mike, nice. How are you? And Dornicia, hope I said that right. How you doing? KGBE Fife, what's going on with you? Dev, how you doing? Says Black capitalism was never going to save the collective, and I never once expected it to. Capitalism isn't a system where everyone is designed to eat. It thrives on exploitation of others. Well, you know what? Hold that thought, because me and you are here. We're here. I think do you know me? Do I know you? I don't know. We'll see. Jay Blue, what's going on with you? So anyway, for the sake of time, let's go ahead and get started. So, as I said, I saw this video and I thought it was interesting. I like to talk about things that interest me because if I just kind of talk about things that I'm not interested in, it's going to be a long 30 to 45 minutes. So anyway, this particular woman that goes by the name of Dr. Doreen, I believe that is, she made an interesting point in regards to the benign neglect, if you will, of Black celebrities. So here we go.
Nothing from our favorite Black celebrities. I'm talking about the ones we go 10 toes down for. Buy concert tickets for, stream their albums, defend them online, make them rich on top of rich. And meanwhile, we're struggling. Baby, just know they see it. They know what's happening. Rent sky high, groceries through the roof, folks getting laid off left and right. Baby, let me run that back. Folks getting let go left and right. And child, they moving right along like business as usual. And what's wild, while people can't even afford gas or groceries, because eggs still high, Taylor Swift dropped another mediocre album and still made millions. Beyonce probably planning another tour. And don't get me wrong, I like Beyonce. LeBron out here promoting Hennessy, of all things. And Tabitha Brown and her husband, baby, they just dropped a new fragrance line. And baby, those prices are not for the everyday people that built her up. Now, let's be real. This ain't about Democrats versus Republicans anymore. It's about the haves and the have-nots. And the more we keep feeding the haves, baby, the less we gonna have. So while we're out here boycotting big businesses, why are we still pouring money into people who already have it? They've got the biggest platforms. Oh, y'all know who I'm talking about. But I don't see any of them using it to speak truth, to challenge power, or even just say y'all all right. Quiet as it's kept. Some of these folks have dual citizenships lined up and an exit plan ready. And we'll be right here, still supporting, still struggling. But let me go ahead and start right here, because I don't think we're ready for that conversation yet. Because I made a post about us keeping our money, about investing in our communities, and let's just say that wasn't my most popular post.
All right. So that was Dr. Janine. Of course, y'all heard her admonish. And it says, I guess it was maybe an admonishment to us by talking about the celebrities, the Black celebrities. She said Beyonce, LeBron, and Tabitha Brown, they all, are selling things and this, that, and the other. And they have really kind of been silent about the struggle. Now, you could name anything in regards to the struggle, and it would apply, right? But I think she's meaning what's going on in this political environment. As she said, a lot of people are losing their jobs and things like that, but they are continually selling things to us, and we buy them, right? Now, I'm one of those people, I really try my best to elevate more, vibrate higher, because for somebody watching that and listening to her, she's 100% right, by the way. But for most people listening to her, one would deduce that, in a sense, we're stupid, right? When I say us, you can say Black people, or you can say people in general. We're stupid. But then for me, I'm like, well, why are we like this? Well, I want to show y'all a picture. Oh, and if we have time, we're going to talk about this whole little Marvin Winans thing, you know, because people have been asking me about it if we have time. But anyway, let me put this up. So this particular white guy here is Edward L. Bernays. Now, many of y'all probably heard of Edward L. Bernays before, but here he says that he's the father of propaganda. Well, he's the father of propaganda, the father of public relations, the father of spin, and, you know, all things that go in those lines. So he was born in 1891, died in 1995. Now, for those of y'all who do not know who he is, he was very instrumental in shaping the thought process of consumers, not just here in America, but abroad, right? Now, he worked for corporations, political campaigns, government agencies, you name it. And he coined the phrase, in a sense, group think, or the group mind, where he got us all to think together. Now, specifically, what he would do is, in regards to corporations, he would figure out a way to turn us into consumers, because back in the day, we bought things, but we weren't consumeristic in the way that we are now, because we were more or less a needs-based society, not so much a want. We bought things that we wanted, but it didn't outweigh the things that we needed. Well, he gets together with these corporations, right? Whether it's department stores, you name it. They're like, hey, we need to make some more money, because these people are coming in here to buy a pair of shoes, right? Everybody needs shoes, but the truth of the matter is, you only need one pair of shoes. But the corporations are like, listen, we want them to buy multiple pair of shoes. So people went from having one pair of black shoes, or even one pair of shoes, to having 5 pairs of black shoes. And he was the father of that. Now, it should be said, he was able to shape the way that society thinks, in the way that we buy things, and even politics, and a whole host of things, because he was also the nephew of Sigmund Freud. How many of us know who Sigmund Freud is or was? Well, he was a world-renowned psychologist, sociologist, if you will, and he tapped into the psyche of how people thought. So together, they said, okay, well, let's combine what you got and what I know, and we're going to get these people, you know, to feed the corporations, right? And feed capitalism, if you will. Now, some of the things that he participated in was a campaign in the 1920s called the Torches of Freedom. Now, back in the day, it was unladylike for a woman to be out there smoking in public, right? It just wasn't heard of. They considered you to be like a dirty woman or something. So women didn't smoke in public. And I don't smoke, by the way. This is my cigarette. But they didn't smoke in public. So Lucky Strikes was like, listen, man, we got a whole lot of money for you if you can get these women, you know, out of the house smoking and get them on the streets, because they wanted to make more money. So he said to these ladies, right? He got a campaign and everything together. He's like, listen, these aren't cigarettes. These are torches of freedom. Because, and this is kind of how it fed into the feminist movement too. Don't let these men tell you that you can't smoke in public. You should be able to smoke if you want to. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Now, the other thing with that is Lucky Strikes, if you ever seen the carton, it's white, green, and like red. But at the time, people weren't really feeling that green. They just weren't feeling the green at all. So they kind of didn't want to buy the cigarettes. And so it was going to be too expensive for them to change the whole carton and things around. So he says, okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to make green the fashion. We're going to have models wear them. We're going to have them in magazines. And we're even going to have a big giant ball. I think they had it at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. And green became the thing. And then people were like, okay, that's not an ugly box after all. So he got people and these women to, you know, smoking more. Okay. Now it should be said that when he knew cigarettes was bad, okay, but he didn't want you to know that. Now, when his mother and his wife started to smoke and they started to get health ailments, he went as far as to hide their cigarettes so they wouldn't smoke it. But in a sense, it's like, well, you kind of help them, smoke and all of that. Anyway, another campaign it came up with was bacon and eggs for breakfast. Now, back then, people, they ate healthy fruits and things like that. Nothing major because breakfast was supposed to be light. Well, he made a campaign that says, oh, you got to eat bacon and eggs because it's, one of the healthiest breakfasts that you can eat. So he got together a bunch of doctors to basically say, yes, bacon is good for you. 6 out of 10 doctors say bacon is good. So they went on with that campaign. But you know why they made bacon and eggs fashionable for breakfast? Because the bacon companies was like, yo, we need to sell some more bacon. Now, anybody know that, the pig ain't good for you and bacon is not good for you either. But he got these doctors who also got some money to say, hey, it ain't that bad. And so now a lot of people eat bacon and eggs for breakfast. Now, lastly, a lot of y'all may or may not have heard about this one, was in regards to the United Fruit Company in the 1950s. Well, the United Fruit Company is a company here in the United States, and they were working with Guatemala, right, in regards to the bananas and things like that. Well, at first, they were working with like a Republican regime. And under that regime, the people who were working in the fields and things like that, they weren't getting paid much at all and weren't having a good time in those fields. And then they decided, hey, you know what? We want a more Democrat regime. And so under that regime, they were getting fair wages and things like that. But the problem was that the United Fruit Company was not making any money. Now, again, that was in the United States. And so they called Edward L. Berners, hey, we need you to do something for us. We need you to make propaganda that the Democrat regime is so bad. And he did, and it worked. And then they went back to the other regime and the people suffered again. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is because oftentimes we like to deduce things down to, and let me take Edward L. Bernays down. We like to deduce things down to, oh, well, we're just stupid. Well, especially when it comes to us as Black people. Well, we just do things because we just don't know no better. Well, it wasn't that what he, being Edward L. Bernays, did to everybody else. It was done to us as well. So I'm saying we have become consumers because we have been taught to be that. We have been moved from a needs-based society to a want. Now let's bring in the celebrities, because back then they used celebrities to do it too. In fact, they would put models in windows. They being Edward L. Bernays and them, right? But models in windows wearing fur coats and things. Now most of the people couldn't afford no fur coats, but they figured out a way because their favorite celebrity was wearing these fur coats, and I gotta have one, even though I can't afford a fur coat. And so a lot of times we like to blame these people, but you think about Beyonce, LeBron, and Tabitha Brown, all these other people she named, they're celebrities, they're a business. Their job is to get the money. It's not their fault in a sense that we as a society give them money that we don't have. And do we really expect for them to, speak up and say, oh, well, it's wrong that you're in a struggle and we don't want y'all to give us money. No, don't buy our whiskey or whatever it is, our cologne. Don't buy it. Keep your money in your pocket, because then how will they eat? They ain't stupid. They know that you've been conditioned to give them money that you don't have, because in a sense, it makes us believe that we are just like them. Oh, I'm like you. If I can get the cologne that you're selling or the whatever it is, then I'm like you as well. So we have to unlearn those things. We have to, especially us, because we have a unique situation as Black people in America, because no other group of people has had done to them what has been done to us. And that's just a fact. So we have other sets of circumstances. So there's a lot of things that we have to unlearn, but if you don't know why we operate the way we do, then we'll never unlearn it. So what I'm saying is, if we know that we've been turned into consumers by propaganda and public relations, and for those of y'all didn't know, I have a master's in public relations, just so you know, if we don't know that we're being manipulated, then we don't know how to not be manipulated or brainwashed, because in a sense, That's what Edward L. Bernays did. Now, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to get into the comment section to see what you all have to say. And if we have a little bit of time, we're going to talk about the whole Marvin Sapp thing where he kind of admonished a lady up in his church for not giving the right amount of money. Anyway, who else is on here while I was talking? Jeanette, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kenneth, what's going on with you? Says they are part of a system paid and bought for. Yeah, they're part of the system. And the other thing, to her point, those people aren't gonna speak out because they, in a sense, get paid not to speak out. They, in a sense, get paid to keep you comfortable. If they use their platform to say, fight the power, down with the man, let's stop spending and boycott, then, them folks going to be like, oh, so you off the talking points, huh? That ain't what we told you to do. We pay you a lot of money to keep them asleep, not wake them up. So they doing their job. It's up to us to say, nah, homeboy, I'm not going to be giving you $200 for a bottle of whiskey or whatever it is, because I need to be sober right now anyway. So, yeah. Who else haven't I seen? Eugene, what is going on with you? Hope that you were doing well. Sister Sunlight in the building. Sandy, how you doing? So they don't care. They are part of the system. Yep. See, we could have just ended this 30 seconds ago, right? Jay Blue, you says only a few Black celebrities might care. Other than that, they do not care. And very few, because they got to eat too. They got expenses that's through the roof. They might be making millions of dollars, but they got millions of dollars of expenses as well. So they gonna keep on, pumping all of their products and stuff to us. As long as there's a buyer, they will sell. That's just the nature of business. Al Austin, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ross, what's going on with you? Says the Black celebrities didn't cause these issues, so don't blame them. Hey, you and I agree. I don't think that they did. I don't blame them. If you selling something, you want people to buy it. If you taking your last dollar to give it to them, whose fault is that? They're not making you do that. But again, if we understand the nature of how we got like that, then it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Dornicia, you says, not all of us are fools. Exactly. Kira, how you doing? Says Black celebrities ain't the government. That is true. But a lot of times they do work hand in hand with the government. Or maybe not the government. Well, sometimes they do, but especially in political campaigns, we saw that a lot, especially with the Democrats. That's kind of like their playbook, right? Let's get these celebrities out here to control the minds of the masses, to tell them to go ahead and vote for this, politician because they're the best politician because Beyonce said so, right? William, how you doing? Says, well, what I would say to Black movie and TV stars and athletes or celebrities is why are they all do commercials? I think you're saying, why do they all do commercials for everything bad in the Black community? It's either betting or alcohol, because they do not want us to wake up. You cannot control people that are aware, that are awake. But if you're inebriated, high, and out of your mind, you don't think for yourself, then they can tell you what to do. They can control you, right? You engage in groupthink. Everybody thinks this is bad, right? Well, a couple people think this is bad. Not everybody thinks it's bad. And that person who thinks it says, well, why is it bad? They usually get demonized. Well, why are you asking? Because it's just bad. Why you see? I'm asking because I'm not in drinking. I'm aware. I just want to know. But too many people are part of the group think, Child of God, how you doing? Andre, what's going on with you? Says also responsible for baking an egg breakfast. See, you should have did this with me. Absolutely. So Wendell, how you doing? Says we need to concentrate our energy on ourselves. They have their professions, careers, and their own responsibilities and concerns. It's not their responsibility to provide provisions for us. Stop it. Hey, I co-sign that. Fair use, how you doing? Let me go ahead and get to everybody I haven't seen, and then I'll read the comments from everybody again. Tamisha, how you doing? So celebrities didn't open the border to allow 20 million illegals to invade our country and force America taxpayers to fund the lifestyle of those illegals. They also didn't shut down the government. That is true. I totally agree with you. I think we do unfortunately blame them. That's not their wheelhouse. They dance and they sing and they play ball. And who was it? Laura Ingrams or whatever her name is. She told LeBron to shut up and dribble. I don't know if she was on to something with that or not, but let's see. Off Grid, how you doing? Who else haven't I seen on here? E.G. Butler, how you doing? Says this is the problem of the capitalist society, and we need to replace that system. But how do you do it? How do you replace the capitalist system if we keep feeding it? See, that's a conversation we really don't want to have. How do you replace it if you keep feeding it? Are we strong enough to say, I don't need to order from Amazon? Or I'm going to stay off of Facebook or Instagram or X and all the other things that the capitalists need. See, they need us. They need us to feed it. So again, we're blaming capitalism. Again, we were conditioned to be this way, but we know now. So we blame capitalism. And capitalism is not all bad. I want to demonize the whole thing, but we blame it for what it is, but we want to abstain from it. So when do we start having that conversation? Just asking though. Honesty, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me see. Let's see. Sunlight says Black celebrities are completely out of touch. In a sense, they're supposed to be. That's what they get paid to do. They don't get paid to be Malcolm X. And Malcolm X talked to us about that, didn't he? He says, especially in our community, we get Black celebrities as leaders. Nobody else gets that, but we get it. And such and such said. And they said, but they're not living that. They're telling you what to do. Like I said, Beyonce at Kamala's rally, she says, I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm here as a concerned mother. It's like, knock it off, okay? Because you don't have the same sort of circumstances as everybody else. And I'm not mad at her. I mean, good for her, right? But you ain't got to lie to kick it. Let's see. Make sure I got everybody so far. Christopher, how you doing? Says there are no more Ali type celebrities. Oh, Ali, rather. I'm sorry. Type celebrities. He was the people's champ because he spoke up from his platform. Position regarding our treatment. Yeah. And it harmed him. And so a lot of other celebrities learned from that. Muhammad Ali was harmed financially with that, right? Had his boxing certificate and all, or license rather, taken, and lost a bunch of money because he stood 10 toes down on what was right, not just for him, but for his people, So when other people see that, they're like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to have it cost me something. So I'm going to be quiet, or I'm going to tap dance so I can keep getting these checks. But good point. Crystal, how you doing? Says they always want Black celebrities to speak up, but won't cut the check for FBA. Celebrities have their own problems. Indeed. And they'll get harmed in a sense more so than us if they get off their talking points. Kanye West is a great example. Jamaz, how you doing? Says, why should they put their lives on the line for no return? You asking some good questions. Larry, how you doing? Says a gift destroys the heart. The wealthy builds a community. Every race does that, but us. We go help other people's. Your comment cut off. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But we've been conditioned to do that, especially in the way that we vote. And I don't really mean to beat up on the Democrat Party, but because we predominantly are voters of the Democrat Party, we being Black people, when we vote for them, we've watched them do for everybody else but us. Which is in a sense how we got what we got the last administration with the mass immigration. Black votes helped that. And Joe Biden stood up there when he became the president-elect and said, Black Americans, you've had my back and I'm going to have yours. And that was a bald-faced lie. I said bald-faced, not bold, okay? Bald-faced lie. But, what he was really saying is y'all help me so I could go help everybody else. And they did. So absolutely. Earl, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Michelle, what's going on with you? Well, thank you. Abria, what's up? He says, that's one of the reasons they legalized marijuana, to keep us asleep and away propaganda. Yeah. And you got to remember too, back in the day, they demonized marijuana because they felt like it did this, that, and the other. And if you didn't know, the coca, and without really saying what it is, and opioids and all that kind of stuff used to be legal. In fact, Sigmund Freud, I don't know how, I think he was drinking it because Coca-Cola used to have the real coca in it, but they literally outlawed those things because they felt like Black men and what they call Chinamen, right? Chinese men would get some sort of an appetite, for white women. So they made those things illegal, but those things used to be legal. So yeah. So, somebody said celebrities didn't open the border, but they should be pressured. They pressured us to vote for those who did. Now I'm gonna push back just a tiny bit, and I love you dearly. How can they pressure us? Did they come to the house and say, you better? How were we pressured? And this is not, to beat up on you or nothing like that, but how were we pressured to do that? Because, you have to be 18 and over to vote. Now, I know 18 is not necessarily grown, but I'm speaking in terms of that we're adults. So how did they pressure us to do it? Did they say, I'm going to take your firstborn child, they'll never see it again? Did they say it would cost you some money if you don't? Right? How are we pressured to do that? I'm just asking. Jay, how you doing? I hope that you're well. Masonama, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says pork are an abomination. Yeah, but that's not what Edward L. Bernays and the bacon company said. They was like, eat this bacon. Wendell, how you doing? Says neoliberalism is within both business and politics. How is it that those who erected the Black Wall Streets did it with very little, and we have so much at our disposal, and we are doing so little? Well, I agree with you. Our ancestors came off of those plantations and they went and built all the Wall Streets, the Slocums, Rosewoods, and everything else you could think of. They did that. They did that with no, hardly no clothes on their backs, no food in their stomachs, no money. Because the master didn't say, well, here, I'm going to miss you dearly. Here's a whole bunch of money and some food, and y'all go get started. In fact, let me know anything you need. They didn't have that. But they had this, and they had this, right? They had the mind and they had the heart, the willpower to do what they needed to do. Now, of course, there was this little thing called the civil rights movement that came in. And I guess, their hearts were in the right place because they didn't like the Jim Crow and things like that. So I get it. But from that point, we got comfortable because in a sense, we were like, whew, that's over with now. So, we're safe. We can go move next to white people. We can eat with white people. And hey, white people, good morning. And we were fooled into thinking it was over. It wasn't over. It just went underground because we're seeing it rear its ugly head in broad daylight now. So we lost the will to do it because we thought we were safe. We didn't need to do for self anymore or for self by ourselves because we were with them now and they loved us, which we know that wasn't true because there was a thing called white flight as well. So yeah. Cons Yans, how you doing? He says, remember Kaye and that basketball? So you're talking about Kyrie Irving. He says, got both canceled when they tried to talk and even doing less than that. Yep. So I should have read your comment. Millie, how you doing? Says, my uncle has oatmeal and boiled eggs for breakfast every morning. He's 91 years old. He might be on to something, right? No bacon. But they said bacon was good for you because they were trying to make $1. It's always about the dollar bill. That's why me personally, I check into the things that I eat, the things that I put on my skin, my hair. I use an app called Yucca, Yuka, Yuka. You can scan most things and it'll tell you what's in it, whether you should be using it or not, right? So yeah, let's see. Yvonne, how you doing? Hope that you're doing well. I see you responding to somebody else. Trenton makes what's going on. He says Black celebrities will be back in September 2028 saying this is the most important election, blah, blah, blah. But again, are we going to fall for it? It didn't work last time, right? And Kamala pulled out the heavy hitters. She even had Eminem out there. It's like, oh, okay. But you had a lot of people out there saying Kamala's our girl. Bring Kamala in. And people's like, yeah, no, I'm good. Get somebody else to do it. And that somebody else, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, is Trump. So yeah. Blue Waters, how you doing? Yeah, bald face lie. Who else haven't I seen? Dex, how you doing? He says Black celebrities have to know that we, the grassroots, have their backs. Then they will feel more inclined to speak up for us. And I agree with that as well, because we've seen a lot of them. Y'all know how I feel about Ice Cube. Yes, Lord, I got to see him this last Friday. When I tell you, your girl did not sit down. I was dancing, throwing up the W's, all kind of stuff. Anyway, well, Ice Cube, when he tried to speak out, right? Man, when I say we, I mean collectively, because it wasn't me. We did him wrong. We took him here and we took him there. Oh, you a sellout. You did it. He's like, man, calm down. I made a contract with Black America, and either campaign or whatever it is, party that wanted to look at it and do something with it. That's why I wasn't trying to promote a party. Trump's people was the one that looked at it, and Kamala and them, or Biden rather, said, yeah, we'll come back, come back if we win. Well, they won, and, they didn't say anything else to them. And Black people crucified Ice Cube. And I really feel bad for him. Not because I love him, not like that, but, because he got a woman, but we crucified him. That man got all the money. He'll never be able to spend it, but he stuck his neck out for Black people, consulted with some great Black economists. This was not something he did like he was writing a rhyme, and we did him dirty. And so now he's gone off doing his, business. You don't hear him speaking up for Black people anymore, so you're 100% right. We expect for them to do all the heavy lifting, and when them folks get on them, it's like, we act like we don't know them. So good example. Bertram, how you doing? Said this is why KS never looked at celebrities as leaders. So KS, who's KS? Because that KS can mean a whole lot of people. Is it Kevin Samuels? I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Wim, how you doing? He says convinced by media. Okay. Crystal, he says I side-eye politicians who use I promise in their speeches. You can't trust them no further than you can throw them, including one of our own. Yeah. Especially the things that they're talking about, they can promise. Can you really do that? Nobody else has done it. So are you really going to do it? Or, it's like back in the day when we were in grade school or whatever it is. I'm aging myself, grade school, elementary school, or whatever it was. And somebody was running for class president or something. They said, I promise I'm going to put a chocolate soda in every hallway, or a chocolate fountain, rather, in every hallway. They're like, yeah. And they get elected. And the school's like, now, we can't do that. But they said that to get you to vote for them, because who wouldn't want a chocolate, soda or milk fountain in the hallway? So, yeah. Bria says TV, music, and celebs. And Fair Use says Penny Town started with one man, Joe Penny, buying only 8 acres. Yeah, I mean, that's how they all started. But somehow we can't figure out how to start a peanut stand. It's crazy. Yes, Mason Nama, I know I'm jacking your name, but I'm sorry, it says Stockholm in many ways. Yep, Stockholm syndrome. Absolutely. If you know, you know. Jay Blue says most likely those celebrities have puppet masters. They all got puppet masters. All of them. They're not operating independently. If they are, Kanye probably now is. Y'all know all the stuff he went through, and he said it himself. After he went through all of that, he says, besides Farrakhan, these are his words, besides Farrakhan, I'm the freest Black man in America. So he is, right? He's like, I made all my money back, and I cut loose from the people who have the key in my back. So absolutely. Michelle, how you doing? Says Black celebrities are really quiet this time around. Wonder if it has to do with their Jewish handlers keeping them in place. It might have something to do with that, and it might just have something to do with, well, it ain't time for us to come out now. Or again, they're watching what happens when other celebrities do speak out. Because, for example, and it's her business, her and her husband's business, but Beyonce and Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z wasn't necessarily stomping for Kamala, but Beyonce was. Well, not too long ago, they were both seen at a dinner that they hosted. And what's her name? Ivanka, the daughter of Trump. She and her husband, they all sitting at the same table, kikiing and ha-ha. And so, of course, Beyonce's fans got mad. Oh, my God. How dare her? I thought she was a Kamala girl. It's like, no, she a money girl. She's sitting where the money is, right? But the other thing is, anybody who followed Beyonce to the polls, stick yourself. Because why would you follow Beyonce to the polls? Beyonce don't have the same set of problems as, the people who's struggling to buy her concert tickets, So if you was listening to Beyonce, that was your fault. But she gonna sit where the money sit, regardless of who's in power. So, yeah. Let me see. Make sure I'm not too far behind in the comments. Oh, okay, I'm not. So let's see. Wim, you say most of our celebrities were taken from the communities put on a pedestal. He says when they should have been building in all major urban areas by now. We got to support the ones who fight for us as a mass. Yeah. And I think they probably would build a little bit more if we do fight for them a little more or support them, but some of them do, and they just don't tell us, right? Philanthropy means that I do it in private. I don't have to get on social media every time I do something for people. It's private, right? Like, for example, when Prince died, we learned about all the things that he did because he didn't want people to know while he was alive. He just did stuff. So a lot of them do. So just because we don't see it or it's not on, social media or whatever, that don't mean they're not doing it. But yeah, they could probably use a little bit more support from us, I guess. Raj, he says, right. I say talking to somebody else. Let's see. Brad, how you doing? Says, watch out, it's coming. Cashless economy and AI androids coming. Where you been? You been under a rock? Because if you have, I'd like to go to that rock where I'm oblivious to a lot of stuff, right? Because I don't be really wanting to know a lot of things. But yeah, we're already here. I mean, most people can go to the store and use their phone to, pay for stuff. If you have an Apple phone, I don't have an Android. I haven't had one in a while. But yeah, you don't even need to take money. Just sometimes, like if I go to the gym and I need to walk across the way to the store, I just take my phone. And I pay for everything with my phone. So we're already at it. I rarely carry cash. I can't tell you the last time I even had cash because I'm one of those people, I give it away. If I have cash, I will give it away to somebody who's maybe on the corner or whatever, but I cannot tell you the last time I had a dollar bill in my purse. I can't. I don't remember. So we're already there. Frida, I hope I said it right. He says, how you doing? He says, there's nothing like the slave that convinces themselves and others that they are mailing moves. He says, when sadly the moves are against themselves, you bear responsibility as well. Oh, yeah, we're all responsible for things that we participate in. We're accountable. We need to get used to being accountable. Chocolate Wine XOXO, how you doing? It says they were supposed to invest in supermarkets and farms and tutors to get kids and colleges. They failed us. Did they fail us? Or did we fail us? Is it somebody else's responsibility to get our children in college? Or to build farms? You don't need 1,000 acres. You can use your backyard. Yeah, I'm just saying. We got to get used to not conceding or giving our power to everybody else. We had this conversation last week. I don't expect nobody to raise my child. My child is 32. I never expected nobody else to do that. Never. Now, I had help, obviously, but I never said, well, go to school and they're going to raise you. Give you knowledge yourself. No. Sir, how you doing? Says Black celebrities ain't our saviors. We as a community have to do our work. Chinese don't look to Jackie Chan. They people put it to work. Totally. I totally agree. Cloudness, how you doing? Long time no see. Let me skip down a little bit. In Cowpoke Ranch, how you doing? And good morning to you. And thank you so much for that. We love and appreciate you here for that. It says, morning. We're in the most precarious situation we've seen in 100 years. Pete Hegseth, pastor, just went viral for calling for our enslavement. They'll try and do it within the next 5 years. Be safe. Yes. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Talking about we should be enslaved. Then I saw some other cats saying that Black boys should be, have rocks thrown at them, for lack of better words, and things like that. And we won't be slaves again. They gonna do all of that, but they ain't stupid. Because as I said, and I know I'm not speaking to you or y'all, I'm talking to them over there. Would y'all allow somebody to wrestle you up and make you a slave again? No, and they know that. They just talking. See, the problem is we keep responding. Let's not get emotional about that kind of stuff. They don't talk. Because if they was really about rounding people up, they'd be doing it right now. But see, they gonna bump their thumbs from the computer. They ain't crazy. See, they want to get in our brain and our psyche and get us. I'm going back on the plantation. See, a lot of us is like, I wish you would. I wish you would. Try to put me on the plantation. Guarantee you be on there before I do, and you might not be above the plantation. You might be below it if you catch my drift, right? So they can say whatever they want to say. But the minute we start falling into it, and as I say, not to y'all, but to them, if you feel like and you scared somebody gonna put you on the plantation, don't wait for them to pick you up. Get your knapsack. That you're gonna need a good one to pick some cotton or whatever you're supposed to be doing on the plantation. Don't wait for them to pick you up. Go report to the nearest plantation and say, I was here. Because I heard somebody, pastor, said they going to be putting us in slave. I'm here. Just point me to my slave shack and my patch that you want me to. Go report to it. Don't wait. Because the anticipation has got to be, a lot. Just, not you, cowpoke, but I'm saying them people who are afraid. But thank you once again. Let's see who else is on here. Majestic Minister, Daddy's Girl, how you doing? Says, thank you, sis, for talking about things like this. It's my pleasure. And thank you for being here. Almost, how you doing? Says that person must be under a rock because androids are already here. They are being perfected as I speak. Yeah, some people just don't know, and I envy those people. I do. You ever talk to somebody and say, did you hear about this? And they're like, well, no. Or you talk to somebody and say, did you see what they was putting on Instagram? I don't have Instagram. I envy those people. Because like, wow, you must have a really fulfilling life to where you don't need to be on social media all day, right? So in a sense, I envy those people because they're just not tuned in to things. So we don't fault them, but there's some things we should know because, we're already in a cashless society. Primo, how you doing? Says it's 9:36 here in the morning. So you're in California or on the West Coast, I'm assuming. And Nathaniel, how you doing? Says, will African Diaspora News Channel ever bring Taylor House Publishing to the show? And forgive me, I don't know who that is. So excuse my ignorance. I don't know who that is. Maybe you want to enlighten us. African Native, how you doing? Says the phone is no more a phone, no longer a phone. I think you're trying to say anymore, but growing to become a control and spyware. Yes. And if you're like me, I'm like, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, right? And the phone has become like my precious. Oh, my precious. I can't let it go sometimes, right? So I'm working on that because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I kind of am addicted a little bit. Where sometimes I fall asleep with the phone in my hand and it's just repeating the same thing over and over again, which is probably why I'm a little loose up here because some of the things I'm probably watching or, how reels or sometimes it just keep changing reels. I'm probably inculcating things in my mind while I'm asleep by osmosis that I really shouldn't be doing. So, we need to learn how to let that go a little bit. All right. So how you doing? He says they supposed to stay silent because celebrity Black folks in the system, within the system, y'all got to remember that. Yeah, they got marching orders. Michelle, how you doing? Says most celebrities enjoy watching poor people struggle. I don't think that's the case, but then I don't know many. So I don't think I know any celebrities. Guess if I have to think about it, I don't. I wouldn't imagine they enjoy it. It's a little sadistic. Then there's some that might, so I don't want to say that's not true. B1 always, how you doing? Says I have 3 acres of land, produce my own electricity, water, grow my own food, have chickens and rabbits. You got room for one more? That's amazing, especially in this day and time, right? African Native says if they don't punch in, they won't get paid. That is why them folks can only blah, blah, blah on YouTube. Yep. J Blue, so you're speaking to somebody else. And Sonny, how you doing? Says we do need to carry cash and have cash at home. You never know when the system may shut down. That is true. Like yesterday, Amazon had a major shutdown, major. But eventually cash won't even matter. I don't even know if you'll be able to use cash. But you're right. I should carry cash. I'm just very bad at it. Because like I said, I usually give it away to people who may need $1 or $2. Keith, how you doing? So they feel as if they worked hard to get where they're at. Anybody can. That's true and not true. Some people are, elevated for whatever reason. But yeah, you can do pretty much anything you put your mind to. Problem is we don't put our mind to it, especially nowadays. My mom, God rest her soul, she would always say, people talk about other people and the things that they doing. And she would say, you think they talking about everybody else? You think they watching a lot of TV and all this other stuff? No, they make this stuff so you can watch it. So you watching them, how are you living your life? How are you building and doing the things you need to do in your life if you watching everybody else live life that's canned and produced, right? Even social media, you see people that going off on these vacations and they got all this and that going on. It's like, but they ain't telling you behind the scenes. They don't know what they gonna do to pay their rent. because they made you believe in a fantasy that they don't even believe in. But the fact of the matter is, we should all be putting that energy that we put into everybody else into ourselves. Ask yourself, what do you want to do with your life? And then go do that. One of my favorite speeches, in a sense, comes from that of Steve Jobs. You know, he was the founder of Apple, and he passed from pancreatic cancer and all of that. Well, he had a bout with it twice. So the first time, obviously, he went into remission and things like that. And so he gave a speech. I forget the university that he was giving it at. But one of the things he said is, when you wake up every day, go to the mirror and ask yourself, if today was your last day on earth, what would you spend it doing? And whatever you answer, go do that. Don't wait until you get, you know, a horror report or some bad news before you say, oh my God, I need to start living life. Do that now, whatever it is, legally. Do that. Right? So in a sense, yeah, some of those celebrities, they can do it. You can do it too, depending, right? Because all of us can't sing. When I say all of us, I mean y'all, because I can sing a little bit. M. Freeman, how you doing? He says they might as well speak up. Hollywood is closed. Actors are perpetually unemployed. Yeah, especially with AI coming in that a lot of people are trying to fight against. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Who else is on here that I did not see? Michelle, there's a lot of Michelles on here today. Says whether we like Trump or not, it seems that he is the only president, far as I can remember, that is actually fulfilling his campaign promises. And you ain't lying. Whether we like him or not, he going full speed ahead and doing all the things that he said he was going to do. And, you know, the other thing is the Democrats heard him too. Kamala and them heard him say what he was going to do. And they were like, we just going to open the borders and we going to be talking about the mass deletion of babies and, you know, the trans, this, that, and the other, and giving people, you know, the change. And the people was like, knock it off. Right? They thought fat meat was greasy. And now Trump is in there and we doing this, that, the other, voting rights and all this other stuff. Now they want to play victim. It's like, nah, you heard what he was saying. You knew he was serious. And yet you kept giving people stuff they told you not to give them. So, you know, we'll be all right, especially us as Black people. We are always all right. We know how to put a piece of bubble gum, a peanut, and a grain of rice together, and everybody gonna eat. That's just something we know how to do. Now imagine if we did that and kept doing it and multiply and make corporations and a whole bunch of other stuff, man, we would run this joint. We will eventually. But anyway, I got a couple of more minutes. I need to get off of here so the next thing could come up. Yeah, I want to talk about Marvin Winans just for a hot second, like 5 minutes for real, because I really got to get out of here. Well, what had happened was Marvin Winans, now he's a part of the Winans family, the gospel empire, if you will. Empire. My daughter always talks about how I mispronounce words. Empire, a gospel empire. Winans, everybody, BB and CC, all of them, the Winans brothers. Well, Marvin Winans is a pastor, and forgive me, I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's here in Texas, but he's a pastor. Nevertheless, this video has gone viral of him admonishing a sister in the church. Now, it sounds like he was collecting money for the building fund. Sounds like they're building a new church somewhere. And so the clip that went viral was of him admonishing the lady because she instead brought $1,200 instead of the $2,000. So people are like, he's horrible. Now, I'm going to show y'all the whole clip, and then we're going to have a brief conversation about how y'all feel about it, because I have my opinion. I'll give it to you. So here it goes.
All right. Listen to me. We're going to get down. If you didn't give but $4.25, we're going to get to you today. Touch your neighbor and say, this is the day of giving. I'm trying to do it orderly. So if you're in the line and your total doesn't equal $2,000, you can just slip out while ain't nobody looking right now, and we're going to call you to come
Giving
back.
faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm going to work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do. I want everyone that wants to sow, if it's like I said, $4.50, if it's $2, if it's 806, whatever you have to give, sowing in this day of giving, I want you to join me now in the center aisle.
Okay, so y'all saw the whole thing. Let me remove this. I swear I only got about 5 minutes left. Okay, so of course, the videos, y'all probably seen it, that particular portion where he admonished the lady for only bringing $1,200. Now listen, what I'm about to say is tight and it might be right. I don't go to church, and I tell you that all the time. I do believe in a higher power and all that. I'm not a heathen most of the time, but I don't go to church for a whole host of reasons. So I'm not saying I necessarily agree with what he did, but as he said, did y'all hear what he said? He said, "You're not listening." He told them, if you got $2,000, come on up here. That sister, you know, her heart was in the right place. I imagine. She said, I ain't got 2,000, but here's, you know, whatever it is. And then 800, he says, I asked you, I'm paraphrasing at the point, for $2,000, you not listening. And then she says, I'm going to come back or whatever it is. So as I listen to it, because see, as I said, I try to vibrate a little bit higher. I try not to be emotional. Again, I have a relationship with church that I don't, you know, enjoy or didn't enjoy, so I'm not trying to excuse him. But when we vibrate higher and not emotional, we listen. She did not follow instructions. Now we could get into it, not now, whether he should be asking for $2,000 or this, that, the other. That's a different conversation. But the conversation really is, you didn't listen. I said, if you got 2,000, come up here. Now he didn't rebuff her money, because in the other clips he says, well, if you got $4, come up here. But right now, I need the big ball of callers to come up here with $2,000. And so when I look at it from that standpoint, I'm like, okay, it was kind of, you know, I was thinking of another word, but I want to use it. It was bad that he admonished her and talked to her like that in front of her child. But to his point, she did not obey what he was saying. Now, some people say, well, obey. Well, y'all know, those y'all go to church, y'all be needing to obey the pastor and all of that. Now, the other thing is, did the lady leave? Is she coming back? Was everybody else upset? Are they saying, well, give me my $2,000. You don't be talking to Miss So-and-so like that. I guarantee you nobody did. So was it wrong how he talked to her? Yeah, I would say it was wrong, but she didn't listen. I don't know. And is he a false prophet? I don't know. I don't know anything about Marvin Winans other than, you know, the songs that they sang. Can't think of the one right now that I really like, but I know them musically. I don't know him as a pastor. I don't, you know, follow a lot of pastors, to be honest with you, for a whole host of reasons, because in part due to stuff like that. You know, you shame the lady in front of everybody. Just take the money, man. If you need to have a conversation with her later, say, hey, sister so-and-so, next time I need you to follow instructions. I'm going to take your money, but I need you to follow instructions. Well, if you needed to do that, but in a sense, it's nasty. It was nasty how he talked to her, you know. But to his point, you didn't follow instructions. So hopefully I didn't make anybody mad. But let me see. I'll read one more comment before I leave, because I gotta go scoop. How you doing? It says, why we complain about them folks? That's what they want if we're distracted. It says laws and technology shut us out. We need to wake up and realize no one is coming to save us but us. Come on now, church. Amen. Rosie, how you doing? You say we ought to withdraw our support and boycott celebrities, allowing them to understand what it's like to live without constant public backing. Yeah, nobody's making us support them. We're doing that on our own. Beach Material, how you doing? Says, help the homeless on the street. You pass thousands of them to get to the church. You're like me. My daughter will tell you, sometimes I ain't did it in a minute, because you know, your money be kind of funny. Sometimes on Sunday, I'll go withdraw some money. Like one time, I'll give you an example before I leave. There was a corner, you know, like a busy shopping center corner type thing. Literally on every corner, there was somebody, whether it was water boys selling water, somebody selling flowers or whatever it was, somebody homeless. I went to the ATM, got out some money, and I walked or drove to every corner and gave every last one of them some money. It was Sunday. I was like, I'm paying my tithes and offering right now. I'm giving it to the people who probably need it more than the church, because to give it to the church is my opinion. I'm not telling y'all, give it to the church, then you got to wait for the church to give it to the people. My thing is, I'm going to give it to the people. That's just me, right? If we're going to do tithes and offerings. So anyway, Wendo, thank you. I love and appreciate you. He says, if we are going to be only recognized and exploited for our ability to spend, then let us do exactly that. Beans, greens, and other healthy elements from our diverse menu of soul food and invest the rest. And with that, we're going to get out of here. But listen, it's been my pleasure. Jeepers, how you doing? And who else? Anton. And I can't read all your comments. Eric Angel. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Please join me again tomorrow, same time. See, I have to get out of here when I start sweating, y'all. I'll be here the same time tomorrow. We're going to talk about food stamps. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be a good conversation, I promise you. So in the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your day and watch all the other content that's coming up because it is amazing. Peace. Oh, and don't forget the app.